everybody, it's your girl Tanaria, and today I am back with another vlog. Really, I'm just venting from these emotions that came over me about my baby. The fact that he will be 6 years old in 2 days and that he's in the first grade, I'm super proud of. But I've been dealing with some things at his school. As you guys know, my son and I both live in Atlanta, and getting adjusted here, especially at certain schools, with a black son, like, let's just keep it real. I haven't had the best experience, and it's only week 3, you guys. So I'm gonna share a little bit of what's been going on, and y'all tell me what y'all think down below in the comments. Also, before we get started, push that subscribe button and like this video, and please do not hesitate to leave a comment, whether if it's good or bad. I just want to know you guys' input on my videos in general. So let's get into this video. All right, so the first week of school with my son as a first grader, Hunter, he is a car rider, meaning I go and I pick him up. So there is a number that's provided on the student's book bag. It's like a card that they attach to the book bags with their name and the number. They either ride a bus or they are car riders. So the first 2 days I was not provided with a car number, and my son didn't have one either. So I simply told the people that were outside that collect the number, because usually they give you a number to put on your dashboard when you pick up your children, so that it's easy to identify them and they know who you are. Prior to them doing so, they check your identification. They make sure that you're you and the proper person to pick up your child. So it just makes it easier for carpool, so it can move, at a steady pace, so it can move faster. So I had no idea, and I was just telling them, okay, I'm here to pick up Hunter. So the first day I was able to get him. It took a little while. The second day, I'm in carpool, and I see my son walk into a car with the door open along with some other black kids. And I'm like, and mind you, the school he goes to is only a handful of black children. I had to put my car in park, jump out the car while I was in line and say, like, what are y'all doing? Like, that's my child. And this could have been a perverted person. I could have possibly never seen my son again. Like, just the dangers in this alone was a red flag, and it pissed me off. Anybody knows me know I can be a huge, okay? Especially about my baby. So that happened. I went to the office the next day and I said, okay. I talked to the assistant principal. She asked was I assigned a number. She was upset. She supposedly talked to the teacher about it. The next day I was issued then a decap for my son with the number, and he had the number, written on his card that's on his book bag. Well, even that day, luckily I had the decap, but they didn't write it on there, so I had to go back up there. Then the teacher wrote it on his book bag. So that's strike one. So, all right, here's another incident. I go to pick up my son, and his mask is cut. And I've had it for a year. It's cloth, so of course I wash it and all that kind of stuff. So it's just chopped up and cut up. Now, mind you, a part of their curriculum is to have scissors, but it's like the round scissors at the top, not the pointy. Of course, I consider maybe my son could have had access to his scissors. Maybe another student beside him could have cut it, So I asked my son this, and he said he don't know what happened. The next day, I buy him another mask. Same thing happens. So I'm like, okay, well, baby, are you cutting your mask? He says no. So I then go into the school because I'm like, although masks are very affordable, I don't care if it was 2 pennies. I'm not going to keep spending my money if something is happening on your account. Now it's the schools. Y'all gonna pay for this because what's going on? So she claims the children do not have access to their scissors until the next school year. Well, not the next school year, but January. And I'm like, okay, well, something's going on. And I'm starting to think like, okay, well, are you doing it, teacher? You know, I kind of pushed that narrative, but I didn't say it. But she said, she claimed up and down she didn't know what was going on. There was a string on the floor, so she assumed he may have pulled it and it just all ripped apart. Now, he's 5. But hey, and it's cloth. It's not like it's cotton. It's not one of those single-use masks with the strings that obviously, you know, pop. It's a kid's cotton-made mask. So I complained about that. They provided him a mask, but I went and I brought another one anyway. I had an issue. Okay, and that was that. The final straw was I went to pick up my child and his shoes were untied. So I said, baby, and he had PE that day. I said, why didn't you ask an adult or ask your teacher to tie your shoes? He said, well, I was scared to ask today, mommy. I said, why? He said, because the last time I asked the teacher, my teacher told me I don't tie shoes. Sit down. Your teacher said, what? Your teacher, who? Who she said to? So at this point, we are about to put my child in a car with a stranger. Things are coming back cut up. Oh, and his shirt was cut too. I didn't even say that. Now you're refusing to help my kid when he's trusting in you for his safety, and that as a school, as a teacher, as a educator that deals with children and have taught for the last 15 years, because that's, you know, what she handed out these papers at the beginning of school, which a lot of teachers do to, you know, let you know a little bit about themselves. So supposedly at this particular school, at this elementary school, she's been there for 15 years working with first graders. My child is younger than the children that's in there. So they're 6 going on 7. My child is 5 going on 6. And my baby is just smart. That's just, he didn't, I'm not gonna put his business out there, but regardless of the fact, these children are young enough to where some may know how to tie their shoes, but they're still, you know, adjusting to learning certain things of independency. So when I'm told that your teacher, who should know better, that works with these young children, refuses to tie a shoe and tell my baby to sit down and dismiss him, I got a problem with that. So I go up there and I sent an email with her and the principal. In the email, I need a teacher-parent conference as soon as possible. The principal writes me back and says, okay, well, do you have availability tomorrow? At the time, it was Tuesday. Do you have availability Wednesday, Friday, or next week, Monday? I said tomorrow. She asked what time. I said the soonest time you have availability for. Okay? So I go up there, and I'm so well-spoken. I'm so articulate. My grandmother was the English major, and she was very big on my sister and I with enunciation, and like we know how to talk, and we know how to speak, you know, to where I can get my point across to you without cursing you out or being outraged or, you know, just showing my black ass, you know, things that certain people expect of us anyway. So like, don't get it twisted. I'm still me. I still have my roots, but it's a time and a place for everything. And when it comes to my son's education and education just period, I take it seriously. We're at this conference and I'm allowed to speak first. So I'm asked if I want to speak first. Of course I do. So I give the whole rundown of my issues thus far with the school leading up into the initial reason why I had the conference. So when it was the teacher's turn to speak, she told me, this is what she said, you guys. She said she did tell my son that, but she didn't say it in that way, the way that he probably he took it. So I said, okay, so what did you say? She said, well, I told him, you know, I don't tie shoes. You should know how to tie them. However, you can tuck them in because I was helping a student, and I'll help you once I'm done. First of all, it was so many loopholes in her story. It didn't even add up or make sense, but let me finish. So, I said, okay, well, did you ever get around to tying his shoes that day? She said, no. I said, and I looked at the principal, then I looked at her and I said, okay, why didn't you tie his shoes? And why did you turn him away when you're an adult? And you should be well aware with this age range that children may know or may not know. And I'm sure this is not your first rodeo with the kid asking you for help to tie their shoes, or you seeing shoes untied. These kids now have extracurriculum activities where they can injure themselves if their shoes aren't tied. And this day in particular, when it happened, he had PE. And there's cement, there's a playground, it's just a plethora, okay, of things to where he could have injured himself, you know, could have slipped, fell, ran into something where he hit his head. He could have hurt himself, just period. And anybody with common sense knows this. You're supposed to tie your shoes, okay? And if you are of a younger age, I can be around a child, and if I were to switch places with her, I would just simply tie the shoe because I know what comes with the shoe being untied, you know, what comes with that. Back to the story because I'm ranting. She told me, you know, I don't tie shoestrings because they are icky. Shoestrings are icky. This is what this told me, y'all. You know, I just see children, they walk in the bathroom on their shoes. They walk out, on their shoestrings. They walk outside on their shoestrings. And I said, okay, let me get this right. Because a part of the curriculum, the things that were needed for class was antibacterial soap. You have 20 some odd kids. So you have a school year supply of soap. There's hand sanitized stations around the school. There's simply soap and water in your classroom, and I'm sure others, and in the bathrooms. And you're telling me you couldn't have simply tied his shoes and cleaned your hands? Well, I said, hold that thought. And I looked at the principal. I said, okay, so what do you take from what she said? And she said, well, you know, we don't have to implement teachers tying shoes. You know, that's not in the handbook. Right then and there in my head, all that I thought was, okay, I'm dealing with some Karens. And good thing that I'm here speaking up on my child's behalf, because I don't know how they may take African American mothers or just people in general. It may not be a race thing, but the way that they made me feel kind of came off that way. Really more so with the teacher than the principal, but it seemed like the principal was more so siding with the teacher or protecting the teacher because, mind you, the teacher's been there for 15 years. I don't know how long this principal has been there, but you form bonds, friendships. You there that long, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know their thing, and I even put that out there. So for her to tell me what's not implemented in the handbook goes to show people lack common sense, or they choose to play you like they don't have any. So I had to show them that I did. So I said, okay, so because you don't have to push shoes being tied in the school, but she did offer, you know, other alternatives, like, you know, we can do special things for Hunter to where, you know, the 5th graders, they have like a buddy system and they can show him how to tie their shoes, and that's excellent. But my biggest thing is and I don't want to pull this 5th grader away from his class because my child needs help where there's an adult present. Like, I got common sense now, and I'm very well spoken, and I can get a lot out calmly. Pissed off to the highest level of pissivity, to where I want to go off physically and verbally, but I keep my cool. So I just let them know that, like I said, we're all mothers here, okay? And I don't know about y'all, but I'm a lioness, meaning I protect my cub, okay? And he may not have a voice right now at this moment, but I am his voice. You get what I'm saying? And I don't play about my son. And I don't play about my son with family, especially people I don't know, okay? So, we're all, I said this, we're all parents. Now, let's take a moment outside of me and let's look within ourselves here in this room. If your kid came to you and told you that he or she trusted this, or came to this teacher with a level of some type of trust, and or knowing that this is an adult and they are capable of helping me, yet they turn me away, how would that make you feel? I think they started using their brains then. You know, I wouldn't like that. Okay, so y'all ain't exempt. I don't care what's in the handbook, because guess what? It's not in the handbook for a lawsuit. And I said that straight up. If she doesn't tie a shoe, whether if it's my kid or the next, if any of the faculty feel that way, where as parents we are entrusting, you know, you guys with our kids, because I'm sure there's some type of safety precaution, even if it doesn't say verbatim, tie shoes, you know? If my child is turned away and then go run and hurt themselves, injure themselves, I'm sure it's not in the handbook to get sued. Oh, we started waking up. We started being apologetic. We started understanding that this black woman, she ain't one of them, according to them. You know, like, I guess the way they came off. So I tried the virtual school thing, or reaching out or emailing, and it's closed now. And I wish I would have taken that step, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because right now I can't do nothing. And this is the school he's zoned for, and it'll make it 10 times harder to get him changed, which he'll miss days. And I don't want nobody having a reason to say, okay, because of these amount of days missed or just anything. I had to sit my black son down and say, you know, basically when you dealt with adversity, it's about how you come out on the other end. I didn't speak these physical words, like these actual words to him, but in, you know, layman's term where he could understand. Because you are a black man and you're going to grow up to be a black man, you're not going to always be treated fairly. And that's just some of the things that took place in the school so far. But I think after this conference, they get the gist of how far I'm willing to take it. I even told the principal, because you have a boss, I can talk to the superintendent. I can go to the board with this. Like, I don't play around. I don't mess around when it comes to my kid. And ain't nobody going to play on my top. You understand me? So I had to let him know, unless somebody's physically hurting you outside of the shoestring incident, because I can handle that, mommy can handle that. I can't just pull you out of school because you don't like the teacher or you don't like the school, you know. The particular district he's in while staying here in Georgia, and I don't want to give too much away because then I'll be telling the world, like, kind of where I live. It's very few black kids in there. And I let him know how it is. It may be growing up as a black man. I am not a black man, but of course I'm going off of things that I know, you know, as a black woman. And with me raising a black man, all I could do is protect as much as I can, but at the same time, I have to cut the umbilical cord. And because it's like, moving forward, am I supposed to pull him out of every single class? If he gets into a fight or argument, I'm supposed to just go up there and fight the kids? And if it gets to that point, don't get it twisted. I'm going to protect by all means, but I have to let him grow to be a young man, to be a man. And I had to realize that today, every battle I can't fight. And every time I'm not going to be able to be at his side as much as I would like to, because he has to learn and he has to know. There's just mean people out here in the world. There's just people that try to take advantage. It's about how you handle it. You always can come to mommy. Mommy's going to always have your back. But I kind of have to let him go through things without sheltering him. Like, still protecting him, but I'm gonna always be at his side and come to his rescue. But certain things, even when he get his heart broke, I'm supposed to fight the little girl, you know? Like, knowing that now he's just growing up, and certain things that may happen to him emotionally or period, it's just not dawning on me. It's just not dawning on me. I can't, mommy can't be there all the time. And I would love to have the relationship with certain people to where they can help me along the way. But that's just not my reality. But yeah, I just wanted to vent. And for any parents out there, please let me, like, I've even emailed, like, you know, I'm a sue, like, not sue, but, you know, I'm a make this a legal matter. And I mean, I went off via email with this. Let me know if I'm doing the most, or let me know what y'all think about the things I share with y'all. Because of course I would love for him to change schools. But what if he goes to, you know, a school and has the same issues? Like, I have to know and notice that I can't always protect my baby from people and from heartache. And that is really bothering me today. But yeah, so this is a short vlog. Let me know you guys' comments and thoughts. You know, please, please, please leave comments, parents, so, you know, I could get some advice or just you guys' input on everything. So please like this, share this on Facebook, on any social media platform, because I want to just get some parents' input on what I'm going through.